What's up, guys? Welcome back to VHB Engines. So, you guys have to thank Mr. Anthony Inkisjan again, bringing me back out of my discussion retirement. And he hit me up with a question yesterday that has been a question of my that has been asked of me several times to my shock and amazement. But fortunately for that spiraled into a couple other topics that I want to talk about. If you want to know what those are, you can follow the links in the description. Hit my Facebook up and you'll see I made a note of it so I wouldn't fucking forget. But it also gives you a sneak peek of what I'm doing. So, the topic being here, can I build my my engine for boost, run it like that until I can afford a turbo kit or until I can put a turbo kit on there later, Jesus. Absolutely fucking not. Don't do that. That is stupid, lazy, and stupid. Alright? If you are being lazy enough to not follow through with your complete turbo build, which very much includes the fucking turbo kit, then you don't need to be doing this project. If you're gonna rip your engine out of your car and do a rebuild, and you're not gonna put a turbo kit on it, then you need to do something high compression or something like that, because you are literally killing the fuck out of your engine. All right, you cannot drastically change your compression ratios and not retune. Your car will run like a piece of shit whether you're going up or whether you're going down. If you're dropping drastically, and some of these pistons, drop from will drop your compression from like 10 something to 8 something. That's fucking crazy. So if you run this fucking low compression build in not only are you killing the fuck out of your power, you are also assassinating your fuel mileage and shit. And the only way you're going to get that car to run properly is to retune it. So you're telling me you can't afford to put a $300 or $500 turbo kit on your car, but you have time to run it NA and have it retuned, which is going to cost you also what that turbo kit's going to cost you most likely. That's fucking ridiculous. Especially with a lot of single cam guys asking, can I put the Vitara build and run it NA? Yeah, I mean, you can do it, but it's a stupid, horrible idea. Like I said, it's going to kill power and fuel economy. And why the fuck would you do that? You're dropping fucking from 9 something to 7 something. It's an enormous drop if you're using Vitara pistons. You need that turbo to help push that shit. That's just, it's incredibly lazy that you go through the entire process of an engine rebuild and not put a turbo kit on there. If you want to do something along these lines, like I've said in other videos before, take your fucking time. Build an engine on the side. Then when you have absolutely everything ready to go, you put it in that car. I would rather take 1.5 years, 2 years to build one of my bullshit project cars over trying to do something insane like that. If you cannot do the turbo thing because you feel like you can't run the kit or whatnot, rebuild for high compression. You can. I've got other videos in here that you could do like an OEM piston. You can reuse OEM pistons, bump up your compression up, and make a 200 horsepower car. The big power game isn't for everybody. And that's completely fine. But there are plenty of other options you have to make your car kind of fast without that doesn't include a turbo kit. That's just crazy. And I have mentioned this a couple of times. I think that you should smack yourself in the face for even considering that shit, man. That's just don't do that. It's a very, very bad idea. But even though this is going to be a short video, this is a topic that's been touched on, plenty of times by people that have watched this channel, and I think it deserves its own little title. But yeah, guys, don't do that. You can't drastically change your fucking compression ratios without a fucking tune. And nobody wants to fucking build low compression and retune and make like 120 horsepower out of a B20V or an LSV. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. And then the thing is, once you do that, once you fucking rebuild that engine and you get it set up properly to run like that, how long is it going to be for you to get your turbo? You're going to keep putting it off, 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 and then the likelihood is you'll sell that fucking car or that engine without ever having seen power. And you will definitely spend more money on internals, especially if you're buying new. You'll spend money on internals, more money on internals than you will on turbo kit. So if you can't afford to do this shit straight up, that's fine. Take your time to piece a kit together. take your time to get to piece everything you need together for your engine, and do it a little bit at a time, so that way it'll be better for your pockets. Now I know that the thing is people get impatient, they want their shit now, but I guess that just really shows the difference between somebody who's serious about doing this to their car and somebody who's not. If you can't handle it, if you can't handle spending the time it takes to to put this shit together and put it aside, then you don't really want a turbo car in your life, because no matter how well the car is tuned, no matter how good the engine is, shit like that, or how good the brand of the turbo is, you're always going to have little bugs and little issues from the abuse that you're going to put on your car. Check engine lights, not running good, shit like that. So if you can't even have the patience to properly piece together a good setup for yourself, then you're not going to have the patience to deal with a turbo car. So you may want to rethink the kind of build that you want to do. I'm telling you guys, the NA is definitely a viable option with this. 200 and some horsepower out of one of these Hondas is definitely a fast thing, especially if you've never experienced that stuff before. And may want to rethink what you're doing if you can't go through the turbo, or you may just want to just do turbo and just on stock internals, which is also fine as long as you are careful with what you're doing. All right, guys, that's it. That's all I want to talk about today. I do have some other shit coming. I was going to do multiple video upload today, but I realized that it's been a while since I've done back-to-back uploads. So instead of doing a whole bunch of shit today, I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to carry on over the next couple of days into next week, finishing the other topics that I want to talk about. All right, guys. So if you're new to the channel, you'll find all links to my social medias in the description below. If you want to hit me up, Facebook I use for news updates, Instagram for pictures of projects, Twitter and Snapchat I use for little video uploads for shit that I forget to include in here that that are important but aren't long enough for me to have its own YouTube upload. So if I don't really follow anybody back on social media, but everybody who follows me on Snapchat gets a follow back, and if I see car stuff in your little stories, I'll jump in there and see what's going on. And if you're stuck on something, maybe I'll drop my 2 cents and see if I can help you out. If you go to the channel, you'll see that all my videos are organized into playlists. This is to better help you find the videos you need to answer your questions. Guys, if you're gonna come to me and talk to me, I will talk to you. But if you want me to be one of those guys that are on here on YouTube that aren't ignoring you and are paying attention to what you're saying, please have the decency to go through and spend the time looking for and watching the shit that I put up. I appreciate that. There's never any exchange of money. Just just conversation here. Just please do me the favor of going and watch my shit. I appreciate it. Like the video if you got anything out of this. If you found anything helpful here, and hopefully you find enough reason to stick around and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and peace.